if I go to the gym just in January, can I expect in December I'm going to be buff? No, like it's about commitment.
11 months later.
Yeah. Ask yourself, have you been truly committed? Have you been consistent with those activities? Have you given yourself a snowball's chance in the HE double hockey stakes?
That's why we list off those red flags. Those are the people who should quit.
You're a loser. You never win at anything. If you look back, like you weren't even on the podium, not even third place.
Okay. Wow. Hitting me right away with the red flags. All right. How about you have low EQ? You don't know how to read a room. You don't know how to tell if you're connecting with somebody or not.
Kind of like how I just started out?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I bet so.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be funny here. In real estate, if you're a winner, like you win. And if you don't have a track record of success, real estate will eat you up and spit you out.
Potentially so. Okay. Here's one that I've noticed, which is real estate is too mentally intensive. It takes like you're too much brain power, too much, not even brain power, maybe is the wrong word, mental horsepower, emotional horsepower, because there's so much freedom. There's so much flexibility. It's overwhelming.
Oh yeah. Highs, lows.
Yeah.
I mean, all the same day.
Yes.
Work ethic. I mean, many people got into real estate because they saw the big commission and they thought, oh, my agent made this easy. And what they didn't realize was all the stuff they didn't see.
Yes.
And it takes a strong work ethic.
Yeah, totally. All right, work ethic. Hand in hand with that is they're not willing to give it long enough. So 3 to 5 years, they don't have enough runway financially. So that, in 90 days, like they got to make some commissions or they're out of the business. That we see a lot of new agents struggle with that. But honestly, there's a lot of experienced agents that are also like that. Like if anything happens, if the market shifts in 90 days, they're out of the business.
Yeah, they don't have an understanding of cash flow or finances, and they're used to the security of a 9-to-5 job where they're getting paid every week.
Yes. How about low EQ? You mentioned this to me.
100%. I mean, and why don't you explain what low EQ is? Because if they have low EQ, they might not even understand what it is.
All right, emotional intelligence, so the ability to connect with another person, read the other person, know if you're connecting and building a relationship or not, whether you have rapport or not. There's a lot of agents that don't know how to tell. So either they push when they shouldn't be pushing, or they never push because they never know when there's a connection that they can even push somebody into making a decision.
Right, or can't handle tough conversations. They're people pleaser.
Yep.
I mean, if you look at real estate, you got to be okay with conflict.
Mm-hmm. All right, here's one you've mentioned to me in the past, which I thought was hilarious. They don't present well. Let's put that delicately.
You mean they're not attractive like me?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, it's swagger too, right? Mm-hmm. And whether we want to acknowledge this in sales, it makes a difference.
Yes. Swagger is important. Confidence is important. Let's talk about belief.
Oh, 100%. Being able to believe when all the evidence around you isn't necessarily supporting it. We call doing within while doing without, and continuing to do the activities until you do get the results.
Okay. So those are a lot of red flags, right? So low EQ, interested but not committed. They don't have enough runway or don't think they need it. Can't tell when they need to connect with somebody. They can't push when they need to push. There's no emotional intelligence. There's probably a lot of people listening and watching going, that doesn't sound like me. And that's the point, right? That's why we list off those red flags. Those are the people who should quit.
Right. 100%. And at the end of the day, one of our biggest problems is to think that we're not going to have problems. In real estate, if you love solving problems, it's a fantastic business to be in because, I mean, there's a lot of problems and story problems to solve in order to get a transaction from meeting someone to the closing table. It's never boring.
That is very true. Okay, so somebody's watching this and they're frustrated. Maybe they've hit a ceiling in their income and they're deciding, okay, do I stay in this? And if so, am I going to double down on the same thing I've been doing? Am I going to recommit to something new? Maybe they've been thinking about leaving the business or getting into a different part of the business, like going into, recruiting, the executive part, going and joining a real estate SaaS company. I don't know. There's a bunch of options people take. So let's say they're listening to this. They've gone through the red flags. They're like, nope, not me, not me, not me, not me, not me. Okay, well then what does that mean for me?
Right. I think it's being honest with yourself. And a lot of times when people are in real estate, when you look back and connect the dots in the last 30, 60, 90 days, their effort doesn't necessarily give them an indication that they would have been successful based on the lack of effort.
Right.
So I think it's really take a good look on, have you been giving yourself a fair shot to begin with?
Okay. Say more about that.
Well, for example, if I go to the gym just in January, can I expect in December I'm going to be buff? No, like it's about commitment.
11 months later.
Yeah, 11 months later.
Okay.
And I think a lot of real estate agents, if you look at going to the gym and looking at their real estate career, if you want to get in shape, you need to be consistent. You can't just go really, really hard for a day and then take the next 29 days off.
Yeah.
It's all about commitment and consistency. And ask yourself, have you been truly committed? Have you been consistent with those activities? And have you given yourself a snowball's chance in the HE double hockey sticks?
All right. So what's the next step if somebody wants to help with the decision on what they're going to commit to, what they're going to double down on?
Connectwithhank.com. And truly, I've talked with thousands of real estate agents, and I can usually be a pretty good judge of character through asking questions. And through the questions that I ask, oftentimes you'll see a question at a surface level, but I'm asking questions that are 3 or 4 layers deep, and I can help give an accurate assessment. It doesn't mean that I'm always right. In fact, I remember one gal, she was a single mom, 1 year in real estate. Our company wasn't within their board yet. And I was like, this isn't a good idea. It's not going to work for you. And she got so mad at me. She was like, screw you. I'm going to show you. She ended up joining our company through someone else. And a year later, like she was winning. And I went to her and I said, hey, I owe you an apology. Right. She goes, you don't owe me anything. You were right. I would have failed. And I was so mad at you that I wanted to show you wrong. And she goes, with the effort that I was going to put in, wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
And so it's not about me being right or wrong yet. I've done this so many times that I can probably give you pretty good awareness. And it doesn't mean you have to believe that awareness. It just means you might use me as I'll show you, and I'm okay with that too.
Works for me.
Perfect.